Good morning, welcome back after the break. It's Central European Day of Energy. The second part has just started and we have Alejandro Ulzurrun, the head of unit for energy security and safety at DG Energy from the European Commission with his keynote presentation. Good morning, Alejandro, the floor is yours.
Good morning, and yeah, I think you can see me. I hope technicalities are working. So, good morning to everyone. Thanks a lot, Jakub, for the introduction. And well, as I said, good morning to everyone on the other side of the screen. First of all, I would like to thank CEP, Clean Europe Energy Partners, for this invitation to participate in the Central European Day of Energy. I'm supposed to do now a keynote introductory speech to today's panels, which is a little bit challenging after the insightful and wide-ranging presentations by Commissioner Simson and Professor Buzek. But okay, I'm going to try. What is important to start with is to say that this is a very important and timely event today. Timely, as Professor Buzek said. We're talking today about the resilience of the energy system in the context of the energy transition, and this really touches on a key political objective of the European Union, the energy transition, and a key policy result, which is the resilience of the energy system. So this is really very timely, but also it is very timely not only because it deals with a policy priority, which is the policy priority now, the Green Deal, climate action, but also because we have a very specific context that you are all aware of. We are living an unprecedented crisis at European level, and also we are now in a context of very high energy prices, which certainly is most relevant when we think about the future of the energy system. So today we're going to be listening. There's going to be lots of very interesting exchanges of views on this topic, and this is very important because in this topic we may have, and I'm sure we have, different perspectives, and this is very important to take into consideration. And in particular, listening to the Central European perspective on this issue is of high importance for us. So thanks again for organizing this event in such a way, and looking forward to hearing all the points of view. I will try to, in my words, in the next 10-15 minutes, try to just say a few things on where we are now and where we want to go, or where we should go as regarding the resilience of the energy system. First of all, going to the very important principles. The very important principle, and this is something that both Commissioner Simson and Professor Buzek have highlighted in their introductory remarks, a secure supply of energy is a prerequisite for the clean energy transition, for the Green Deal. We don't start from scratch. This is something that also Professor Buzek has said. The EU energy system is already resilient, has already proven to be resilient to different shocks. And I'm talking here about major shocks like the pandemic situation we have, or rather specific shocks like incidents in the energy system that might have happened during the last months and years. And it is thanks to a very good state of preparedness and resilience of the European energy system, and the good cooperation and coordination between authorities, operators, and stakeholders in Europe that we have managed to ensure this level of resilience. So the first message here is that we have a European approach to energy resilience, which so far has worked. And why it has worked because we have a robust regulatory framework to ensure such resilience and such security of supply. This is based, on one hand, on the security of gas supply regulation, which provides the tool for a resilient European gas system based on preparedness for emergencies, information exchange, regional cooperation, and solidarity. We also have the risk preparedness regulation for the electricity sector, which gives the tools to prevent, prepare for, and mitigate electricity crises, as well as for member states to cooperate in this area in a spirit of solidarity and transparency. These sector-specific regulations, they are put together in a wider framework, such as the Directive Protection for the Protection of Critical Infrastructure and the Directive on the Security of Network and Information Systems. And together, all this provides a legal framework to ensure the resilience of the energy system. This legal framework, regulatory framework, is complemented by a very good cooperation among authorities and operators at EU level through sector-specific coordination groups, which regularly meet to discuss the most relevant issues with regard to energy security of supply. So here you have heard several times words such as cooperation, solidarity, and that is really what makes this European approach specific, and which so far has ensured a resilient energy system in Europe. But we shouldn't stay complacent. We shouldn't stay, let's say, in the past, because things are happening. We are going in a new direction. The energy system of the future is not going to be the same as the energy system of the past. So we need to look ahead. We need to look at what's coming next. The energy system, you all know that, is rapidly evolving. Reducing dependency of fossil fuels is important, a very clear goal. And in this aspect, in this path towards decarbonization, special attention has to be paid to new threats and vulnerabilities, such as new dependencies, extreme weather events, or cyber attacks. As we proceed in this path towards decarbonization, as we proceed with a secure energy transition, we therefore need to ensure that the future energy system and its supply chain are flexible and resilient. That is why, for the future energy system, we need more flexibility tools, such as a storage or demand response, which should provide a higher level of electrification of our economy and incorporate a higher amount of renewable energy in the most efficient manner. Technology is very relevant here, as Mme Commissioner has mentioned in her previous presentation, and I will say a few words about it in a moment. Before, or let's say, I kind of looked ahead, but let's come back a little bit to the present. You know the context we're in. We're in the context of very high energy prices, and this is a real political priority. As the Commissioner said, yesterday's Council of Energy Ministers was, among others, devoted to this matter. This is the situation. Why we have this situation is due to a number of factors that the Commissioner has already referred to in her presentation this morning. As far as the security of supply is concerned, the resilience of the system appears strong, though particular attention and monitoring is required at European Union level. So attentiveness is very important here. The Commission is, of course, following up the situation very closely, among others, with cooperation of the different coordination groups. ENTSO-E and ENTSO-G have provided their winter outlooks for regarding the situation, where we have read that the current situation does not pose additional adequacy risks under the reference and scenarios analyzed. Commission on Energy Prices made a communication on mid-October, proposing measures to address the energy price situation both in the short and in the mid-term. Commissioner Simson has also referred to that this morning. What is important to bear in mind is that there is no quick fix, but there is a clear direction that we need to increase our energy independence, and we need to accelerate the European Green Deal policies. More energy efficiency, more flexibility in our system, more renewable energy are paramount to reach our aims. And this is not about the planet in itself. This is fundamental, as I think Professor Buzek said this morning, for the well-being of our fellow citizens and for the competitiveness of our economy. Now, looking ahead here, 14th December this year, so in a few weeks, the Commission intends to adopt a very relevant package for the decarbonization and resilience of the gas system. This package that Commissioner Simson has referred to this morning should include also a targeted revision of the regulation on gas security of supply. And this revision is expected to look into a number of important elements, such as improving the solidarity for gas between member states, or having a more integrated cross-border approach at the regional level to better use gas storage, to optimize the gas storage. And there could be an element of voluntary joint procurement for strategic stocks also in this context. All this to again borrow from Mr. Buzek's words this morning, in a context of future-proofing the concept of security of supply in the context of the energy transition. Let me look a little bit to the broader perspective. Energy security is as well a core element of the EU Security Union strategy in the broader sense. A strategy which sets out the measures required for a robust security environment in the Union, which starts, among others, by protecting critical infrastructure and to making it more resilient. In the clean energy transition, therefore, we need to pay attention to new types of critical infrastructure, like large wind farms, interconnectors, and control centers. And at the same time, it is required to be vigilant towards vulnerabilities of a geopolitical nature and those related to an increasingly digitalized, decentralized, and interconnected energy system. It is expected that the Commission will adopt a recommendation on critical energy infrastructure by the end of next year. And here I would like to emphasize that it is important to continue to work to avoid replacing dependencies on fossil fuels, fossil sources of energy, by new dependencies on imported renewable or strategic technologies or materials. For instance, those required to install wind turbines, new cables, hydrogen-based solutions, or digital energy. So it is really very important not to replace current dependencies by future dependencies. Here, we also need to keep in mind that there is a context of new threats. A more digitalized, more decentralized, more interconnected energy system means that cybersecurity becomes vital to ensure energy security, in particular because the energy system has specific features, characteristics that make it relevant that make cybersecurity relevant, such as the real-time requirements, the cascading effects, etc. As the Commissioner has mentioned, in the context of the upcoming Digitalization of Energy Action Plan, which is foreseen for June next year, we are looking at the cybersecurity aspects of the energy system in a very serious way, and the European Commission should come up with proposals next year. Good. I will try to be really, to touch only on a few elements of this very wide-ranging area of action, which is the subject of today's discussion. I really try to focus on where we are now and where we want or where we should go. There is here one clear message that I mentioned at the beginning, that Commissioner Simson, Professor Buzek said at the beginning, and that we have to really keep in mind. The security of energy supply is a key element for the clean energy transition. We cannot have a clean energy transition without security of energy supply. For this reason, we should continue to work hard, to talk, and to come up with ideas to ensure a secure, flexible energy system in the EU. And by we, I don't mean only the policy making, the authorities, but I mean we all, including all the participants of this meeting, all stakeholders. It is a common responsibility. And here, I always like to quote a legal text, legal texts can sometimes be rather dry, but here I always refer to recital 25 of the Gas Security of Supply Regulation, which says, I quote, "Responsibility for the security of gas supply should be shared by natural gas undertakings, member states, and through their competent authorities, and the Commission within their respective remits. Such shared responsibility requires very close cooperation between those parties. However, customers using gas for electricity generation or industrial purposes may also have an important role to play in the security of gas supply." So, security of supply, here it was an example about gas, but in general, it's a common responsibility of all of those who have a role in the energy system. That it is very important that these discussions as the one which is taking place today happen. The report that has been prepared and that we just heard about a moment ago, I'm sure is an important contribution to this work, a report on the resilience of the Central European power sector in the time of transition. I have just downloaded it. I listened very attentively to the presentation, and I am sure that this is going to be read very attentively because it's an important input here. And with that, I really thank you for your attention. This event, well, it's an online event, so it's really not easy to get in touch with everyone in this setting. But I would like also to thank all participants for this opportunity and to let everyone know that even if we don't have the possibility of meeting physically, I hope this is also a good opportunity for you to meet us and the colleagues from the European Commission. And I should say that we always remain available to listen to your views and to discuss bilaterally should you wish so following this event in the next weeks and months. And with that, I thank you, Jakub, for the invitation again. And I really wish everyone a very fruitful discussion in the two very interesting panels that we have ahead. Thank you very much.